the children has on their lives.
You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
The following program is for mature and logical audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
The house was built by my mother and father in 1960, and I lived here my whole life, so there's a lot of memories here. And I think I owed it to them as well to try my best to save it. But some things in life are worth fighting for. I mean, if I were to lose this house, it would be very difficult to afford to be able to build a new house, to pay the enormous property taxes they have here. What would I do? When I was out here hosing the house down and getting ready, and when the houses started to burn, I didn't see one single fire truck out here at all. Zero. If they had some fire trucks and just put a squirt here, a squirt there, and kept an eye on things, all these houses would be here now. I'm telling you right now, I saw it with my own eyeballs. All these houses, the houses behind me, they're all gone. They started with one little spark, one little small fire. They just squirted those out, had a few people out there. They'd all be here now.
Gavin Newsom, Cali flames Vlad Putin, and Ukraine meta Facebook gain of function Dr. Fauci knows. Kevin McCarthy, Richard Branson, insurrection television, North Korea, South Korea, Biden got to go. Fetterman, brain gone, crack cocaine, Hunter Shong, Ryan, the show and I, Delmar Hammond may have died. The music went out, Ryan. Should we keep going? Should we keep going, Ryan?
Hey, you know what? I was impressed. Keep going.
Booster shots, Hunter Sock, Russiagate, monkeypox, chemicals, East Palestine, DEI on airlines, COVID-19 was a sham, Biden lost Afghanistan, woke Pope Twitter X, Hunter Biden laptop sex, Obama, he is gay. What else do I have to say? Next week, Biden retires. I don't have much of a hook after that. Is that okay?
That was it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
I have the whole song written out. We'll the closing. Paxlovid is not a cure. Now we're banning plastic straws. Paul Pelosi and male whores. I can't take it anymore. Next week, Joe Biden retires. I can't sing, but if anyone out there is listening and can sing and would like to perform the song, let me know. We'll make a record. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Thinking Logically. I hope you enjoyed that open. Today, we have a lot of interesting topics to cover. The fire is still burning in Cali, and Gavin Newsom is doing podcasts, apparently. We also have some military vehicles that were stolen over the weekend, if that makes any sense at all. J.D. Vance may be skipping the inauguration, and John Fetterman went down to Mar-a-Lago and met with President-elect Donald Trump. What is happening? I wonder what that handshake could have been like. All that to get to and more, but first, Ryan, how are you feeling after Saturday?
You know what? I think I'm going to survive, Joe. The first 24 hours was rough, but you know what? We'll get back to it tonight, watch some football. I think I'll be all right.
At least a couple months the draft's coming around.
It's true. We got drafts, free agency, all kind of fun off-season things.
Maybe we'll trade Tomlin for a few picks to Chicago.
You just never know.
All right, kicking things off. Our first topic today is still going to be the wildfires in California. You heard our cold open. You can't see the video, but this is basically an 80-year-old man explaining how he saved his home with a garden hose. He just kept the water spraying on his property after everyone else fled. He waited for the fire department to show up, and they never did. So this man saved his home using a garden hose. Maybe he should be put in charge of the response. At this point, he's got to be better than any of these idiots calling the shots now. I mean, at least he was in the country, unlike LA Mayor Karen Bass, who, by the way, promised to never leave. I don't have the tweet in here, but before Karen Bass was elected mayor, she promised she would never travel abroad. So in the last few months, she's gone to the Mexican inauguration, the Paris Olympics, I think 2 or 3 times, and now Ghana. Who's funding these trips? The Ghana vacation was labeled as a diplomatic trip. Why is the mayor of the city of Los Angeles going on a foreign diplomatic trip? Who's paying for that? And where's Gavin Newsom? What is he doing to help? Would you believe me if I told you he was bringing in firefighters from Mexico? Why would Gavin Newsom prioritize help from Mexico, a foreign country, over assistance offered by Governor DeSantis in Florida just a few days ago? I understand geographically they're closer, but still. What else is Gavin Newsom doing? He's spending significant time asking Joe Biden to help him stop misinformation about the wildfire situation. He literally wants X to censor misinformation on its platform, allowing only, quote, trusted sources from the news from the mainstream media to be allowed. I'm going to laugh out loud at this. Are you kidding me? Gavin Newsom, you knew these wildfires were coming. Last week, he even tweeted out that the National Weather Service issued, and I quote, a particularly dangerous situation. They issued those warnings 4 times in the last 3 months, yet still, he had the fire hydrants empty, the reservoirs empty, and he had firefighters understaffed. And he's worried about misinformation? Sorry, people were questioning the fact that you sent surplus firefighting equipment to Ukraine. Again, audience, how the hell can you have surplus fire equipment? You don't know how many fires you're going to get. Just like Florida doesn't know how many hurricanes they're going to get. Surplus my ass. So instead of focusing on getting the fires put out, over the weekend, Gavin Newsom was focused on going, like I said, on podcasts to get his message out about mis and disinformation. So Gavin Newsom sat down with the folks from Pod Save America. It's a very popular podcast on the left, I guess, consisting of, I think it's 2 or 3 former Obama staffers. At the end of the show, however, they asked everyone to donate what you can to Act Blue to help the people of the wildfires. Act Blue for your donations to those suffering from wildfires. Let me read the tweet that Pod Save America and Gavin Newsom actually put out. If you want to help those impacted by the California wildfires, please donate at, and it's the website to Act Blue. Why the hell does Act Blue need to be involved? Why not just link directly to the charity's donation page? Now, some of you might not know what Act Blue is. Ryan, do you have any idea what Act Blue is?
I don't know.
Okay, so Act Blue is a Democratic Party fundraising apparatus. Yeah, that's right. And since they are that, they charge you processing fees to donate. So if you want to donate to the wildfires, you're getting charged a 4% processing fee from Act Blue. Where do you think that money, the processing fee, is going? So if you would like to donate 96% of whatever you can to help those suffering in California from the wildfires, do it via Act Blue. By all means, donate to Act Blue. This way the Dems can also get your email and put you on their lists. That's what you want, right? I'm serious. This is so they can use the list for future Dem campaigns. That's the only reason they want you to donate through Act Blue. Is this some form of crime or fraud or something? The only thing Act Blue should be getting is investigated, not money. So I ask, were the fires in operation to achieve exactly this, to get money to the Democrat Party? I mean, tricking people into donating to Act Blue in the middle of a tragedy is beneath any respectable human being, in my book. Too bad Jack Smith resigns. He could look into it, right? Anyway, so now they're using the wind fires to make money for the midterms or for the 2028 presidential election. I don't understand. Oh, I forgot. Elizabeth Warren, a.k.a. Pocahontas. She's also taking advantage of the Los Angeles wildfires by using Act Blue to raise money in the name of helping those impacted. Do I have her tweet here? It's pretty much the same thing, if not. To help support the communities around LA being devastated by wildfires, can you split a donation between the Los Angeles Fire Department Foundation and United Way of Greater Los Angeles? 100% of your donation will go directly towards these organizations. Wrong. It can't. Only 96% can go. That's not me. That's facts. Again, why can't you could donate directly to the charities? Don't understand. She literally has it. I don't get it. So the question, why are a lot of prominent Dems telling people to donate to Act Blue for the Cali fires? Listeners, they're using the devastating fires to raise money for Democrats. I pretty much just laid it out. Or maybe it's to pay Kamala's tab. Is her campaign still over $20 million after they collected $1.5 billion? I don't know. Maybe it's to pay off that. I don't know. But I do know one thing. Gavin Newsom is very nervous for some reason. And he's not focused on putting out the fires, only raising money and battling dis and misinformation. Remember, for some reason, Facebook just stopped. They just stopped all of a sudden checking for disinformation and misinformation. But it's okay. We got this. Remember, the California fire budget is online. He cut, what is it here, $100 million from the budget. There was no water in the reservoir. It had been down since at least 2023. There were numerous warnings this would happen. The fire hydrants in the reservoirs were still empty. And empty in all the affected places. Something stinks here. A man was able, we played it in the cold open, a man was able to save his home with a garden hose. Save his home with a garden hose. An 80-year-old man. Where were the firefighters? Again, Gavin Newsom is blaming the Santa Ana winds. No true American would ever even lose to Santa Ana, let alone blame them for the winds. I don't get it. I just know one thing. If my home is ever on fire and burning down, the firefighters, I'm sorry, the fire officers that come to put it out, they better be diverse. What do you think, Ryan? Yeah. I don't know. I
That's
don't
what
know
really
what
matters, right?
I don't know what to say. I don't get it. The Act Blue thing, that's got to be some kind of money laundering operation, something. I don't understand. And what this does for Gavin Newsom's chances in 2028, I don't want to think about that, but clearly I think that's what he's doing. I don't know. I don't know. Let me read this community notes just to be sure I don't have this wrong. Yeah, they're funneling donations to a left-wing company. They take 4% of the donation for its services rather than go right to the charity. I'm sure a lot of donations, maybe a lot of charities do this too, but why does it have to be a Democrat fundraising apparatus? Community Notes actually nailed Elizabeth Warren to the wall. I mean, there's evil, but people lost everything. People lost their homes. They lost everything. And again, they want you to donate to Act Blue. And they already said it's all about money. They're all worried about the money, how much money is going to go there, how much. What about North Carolina? North Carolina the people there had to do backflips to get their money. Sickening. All right, we got to take a break, but stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to talk about DEI in firefighting. When we come back, you're listening to Thinking Logically here, 99.3 FM, WBVP. You know, when Joe Biden shuffles in front of the cameras to answer scripted questions during the day, he lies like Don King. But what you don't know is, when he goes to sleep at night, he lies like an Egyptian king because he uses MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Grown only in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River, its long staple cotton makes it ultra soft and breathable. Use the promo code LOGIC to maximize your savings on this amazing product. It's Joe Corsi here from Thinking Logically to tell you about Beaver County's #1 realtor, Mark Galla with RE/MAX Select Realty. With over 10 years experience, Mark knows all the ins and outs of the real estate business, so whether you're looking to rent, buy, sell, or swap your house, you can rely on Mark to take the hassle out. Mark Galla of RE/MAX Select Realty, going above and beyond. Hey everyone, it's Joe from Thinking Logically here to tell you about one of my favorite places to eat, Bowser's Restaurant in Monaca. I'm a big fan of their 2-meat plate. Sometimes I get it with the pulled pork, and sometimes I get it with ribs, but I always get it with their amazing brisket. Don't forget to try all their smokehouse sides as well. Takeout and catering available too. Again, that's Bowser's Restaurant at 1493 Old Broadhead Road in Monaca.
Tri-State Sporting Arms on Main Street in New Brighton is now open. Stop in and explore their extensive selection of high-quality firearms, pistols, and accessories. Tri-State Sporting Arms also pays top dollar for used firearms. Their experienced and highly trained staff is here to assist you in selecting the right firearm for you. Stop on down to Beaver County's newest firearms store, Tri-State Sporting Arms, at 807 3rd Avenue, New Brighton, or check them out on Facebook.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Welcome back to Thinking Logically here on 99.3 FM WBVP. In the first segment, we were talking about the wildfires. We're going to continue on to the second segment here, but I just want to reinforce what this is going to cost and how much money is up at stake here. It's going to cost over $100+ billion to rebuild this. There's a unit for that in American politics. It's called a Ukraine. At least one Ukraine to build this. That's why. We got a caller? Yes. Send them over. Hello, caller.
Yes, I'm here.
Hello, how's it doing? How you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well. Hey, you said you wanted to mention about DEI hires this segment, and I just want to let you know that back 20 years ago, I took a test to become a United States Postal Carrier. And the test was on a scale of 1 to 100. But if I was a female, I got 5 bonus points. If I had served in the military, I got 5 bonus points.
Okay.
And if I was a minority, I got 5 bonus points. So hypothetically speaking, me as being a white male that didn't serve, let's say I got a 90 on my test. Somebody that got a 76 on their test could get 15 bonus points and get a 91 score and get the job over me. And that was 20-some years ago.
What do you think it's like now? Do you have any news for us? How much worse can it be now? Probably 20 or 30 points, and there's probably a lot more categories than just woman, race, and... You're about to make my head explode.
You have to take the test now.
Wasn't there an expression called going postal back in the day?
Yes, I'm glad I didn't take the job. I actually got hired about 3 months later and declined the job.
Why did you decline?
I started a business in the meantime, and it took off.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your call. Anything else? The floor is yours if you want to talk about anything else.
No. That was it. I just wanted to give you that before you got into the DEI part.
Oh, no. Well, thank you very much. You're playing right into the next segment here, so thank you very much.
All right. Take care.
Thanks, man.
Like I said, I want to make the point. There is a lot of money up for grabs, $100+ billion. The unit for that is a Ukraine now in American politics. So just wait until they start asking middle America making $60,000, $70,000 a year to help bail out the people in California. It's happening. All right, this is from Charlie Kirk on X. Meet the people in charge of LA's fire response. All of them lesbians named Kristen. Christina Crowley, the first LGBTQ fire chief of the LA Fire Department. Her salary, $439,722. I'm guessing that's a year. It could be like Hunter Biden to be a month, but I'm guessing that's a year. Christina Kepner, the first lesbian assistant chief of the LA Fire Department. Her salary, a meager $264,468 a year. Then there's Christine Larson, the first black lesbian equity bureau chief of the LA Fire Department. Her salary, $399,000. Why not just make it even $400K? Wow. Now, Ryan, 3 lesbian Kristen. That doesn't seem very diverse to me.
It doesn't seem diverse,
even by the names. I mean, that should be disqualifying by itself. I want to focus on Kristen number 3. That would be Christine Larson, who, oddly enough, if you've ever seen the movie Happy Gilmore, she looks like Mr. Larson. If you've seen it, that's the tall guy, guns kill people. I don't kill people, guns kill people. Anyway, whatever. she put out a video, this Mrs. Larson lady, a few months ago, bragging about not wanting to save a man caught in a house fire. I'm not joking. Ryan, play the DEI firefighting video that they made and put out and thought this would be a great idea.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
He got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire?
What in the world was that?
Okay, let's break this down. Ryan, when your house is on fire and an Asian woman or a black man comes to put it out, do you feel nervous because of the color of their skin?
Never. I would be very thankful no matter who it was.
I mean, okay, let's just play. Even if you're a white supremacist racist, you're not going to lock your car door if a black firefighter shows up to your house when it's on fire. Sure. You might get a little nervous when the black firefighter breaks through a car window, but you got to remember, that's just to get the hose through, Ryan.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fun show. We're making jokes. But like, she brings up they might not speak like you. What do black people still speak jive or something? What is this, Airplane, the movie? You're not going to be I don't care who shows up. I don't care. It could be Johnny Cakes from The Sopranos. I don't care who it is. But apparently LA does, and that's why they're in the issues they're having. This DEI stuff has to go. I mean, this has to go. I'm going to read you the salaries one more time. They're making $1.2 million a year between the three of them. But what do they do? What the hell is an equity bureau chief? What the hell does that do on the fire department? This all started with I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. This all started with that. It was a funny movie then. Slippery slope, Ryan. Slippery slope. But it gets worse somehow because let's just ignore the DEI, the firefighters. It's a war zone out there because not only there's fires raging, but there's now looters like it's 2006 New Orleans or 2005 New Orleans down there. This is a tweet from Bill Malugin on X. Let me click on this and read it for you guys. Santa Monica PD tells me they've arrested 10 burglary suspects in the Palisades fire evacuation zone since the fire began, none of whom live in Santa Monica. Let me read this. I'm told 29-year-old Josh something Love was spotted in a Santa Monica apartment breezeway and ran. After a brief foot chase, they said he was caught and found to be in possession of a dagger, a window-breaking tool, a mask. Well, at least he had a mask. Gloves and narcotics. He was on probation, and he has been charged with attempted burglary. A 22-year-old man named Miguel Angel Durantes and 18-year-old Dominic Pacacomania? These are very ethnic names, Ryan. Were in a van together or pulled over after they ran a stop sign. SMPD says they were unable to provide ID and had the Watch Duty app opened on their phone, which they claim they were using to track the fire acreage. After a search of the van, the police found burglary tools. Again, at least they were wearing masks, gloves, and bags. COVID, it's California and COVID, Ryan. I mean, I don't make the rules. 27-year-old Gabriel Isaiah Stokes, that could be an American name, we don't know. He had a Navy hoodie on, the color Navy. Was pulled over by the police after an auto plate reader got a hit on the car he was driving as stolen out of Hawthorne, California. They said he had a stolen California ID as well, other fraudulent IDs, burglary tools. Again, thank God he had a ski mask and a black beanie. And large bags. He had priors for burglary, robbery, and grand theft. Charged in this incident with grand theft and false impersonation. 39 people in evacuation zone since the start of the fire, none of whom lived in Santa Monica. That's from today. This is from, last night. Again, what level of punishment will these looters get from the California penal system? I gotta laugh as it's rolling off my tongue because the California penal system is a joke. Unless, of course, you're saying mean things on the internet.
The thing about, when these people start looting, and you see it all the time, it always seems to get swept under the rug because whatever else is going on is usually the big story. Yeah. And you know what I mean? It seems like people just kind of accepted that, you know what, these people they're going to go out, they're going to loot, they're going to destroy things, they're going to steal things. And at what point do those people are they held accountable? Because, like I said, it always seems that because it's always under another big news story, nobody focuses on the looting, which it's terrible. I mean, you see these places that are ransacked. These are people's, small businesses, people's livelihoods. And I just think that they don't get enough attention, and that's never a big deal because, again, there's always something else going on.
But at the same time, you have to understand, these are illegal immigrants from another country trying to find a better life here, Ryan. What are they supposed to do? Buy the food. Right. Buy the food with the government access cards we give them and the free money. Right. What are they supposed to do? This is sarcasm in case you're just tuning in. You get a lot of that here on the show, Thinking Logically, from 5 to 6 p.m. Monday through Thursdays. Let's take a look at, since Gavin Newsom wants to talk about misinformation and disinformation. Yeah, let's break down the facts here. California reduced the penalties for all theft crimes, including looting, to misdemeanors as long as if it's under $950. That was with Proposition 47. I think that was 2013. Gavin Newsom supported that. In 2024, the voters grew a brain and repealed much of that with Proposition 36. But remember, Gavin Newsom in 2024 was campaigning against Proposition 36. We actually covered this on the show at some point. So right there by default, this shows you Gavin Newsom's position on the issue. Again, 34 arrests in the Eaton fire, in the Palestine's fire. The looters, trespassers, arsonists, firefighters, thieves. This is from Charlie Kirk. Thieves are dressing up as firefighters to burglarize abandoned homes. Nearly 30 have been arrested so far. Throw the book of these despicable humans, name and shame them. There must be zero tolerance. Hard to imagine a punishment to it. Unfortunately, we can't because these are illegals. They hold a higher standard than us. They can do whatever they want. In worst case scenario, they might get deported after a few months. Ryan, I found this genius account on X. It is at JC_Franklins. That's me. I tweeted out at 10 o'clock on January 9th, 2025. Imagine if it comes out that a homeless illegal alien collecting 2 government checks did this. And surely enough, not long after I tweeted that, a man was arrested by police with a blowtorch near the Kenneth Fire in West Hills, California. And he was identified as Juan Manuel Sierra Livia, who is also an illegal alien. Ryan, play the audio from the news report, I think it is.
This man who was holding a blowtorch was walking around a neighborhood when neighbors did approach him. This is, of course, over in Los Angeles County, and it appeared that he was trying to light different materials on fire. Eventually, all the neighbors show up, they take him to the ground, and then they do take him into custody as police arrive there.
They made the determination that there was not enough probable cause to arrest this person on arson or suspicion of arson, and therefore this person was arrested on a felony probation violation.
Okay, why not arrest him for climate change? Looks like he may have been the one causing it, right?
Jeez.
This is from A Muse on X. The arsonist not being charged with arson is a convicted felon from Mexico here illegally. Officials will not turn Juan Manuel Sierra Leyva to ICE for deportation due to their sanctuary laws. So Juan will be released and allowed to terrorize the community. I can't prove that he'll be released. I mean, maybe at some point he will. But this is a ridiculous system that California has to live under. And remember, if we lost 2024, California was the model for the entire nation. Never forget that. Never, ever, ever forget that. This is from Nick Sorter on X. Another man has been arrested for arson after he was caught actively lighting fires in LA County. This is per the Irwindale PD. The man successfully lit one fire which could be seen from the freeway, and when firefighters responded, they spotted him trying to light more. So the question for the audience, is this arson? New York Post, cause of LA Palisades fire has human origins in hiking area popular with teens. That's from a report. I was told it was climate change and the Santa Ana winds and solar wind. I don't know. Mass corneal ejection from the sun. And I was told that suggesting anything else was dangerous mis and disinformation. It's like Sal from The Sopranos. This misinformation stuff, it's an effective technique. It's a frickin' ace. Jeez. So Ryan, how can it get worse than people burglarizing homes?
Every time somebody says, how could it get worse? It gets worse. So I'm not even going to attempt to answer that question.
It gets worse. It gets kind of scary, especially if we live in California. So apparently over the weekend, someone someone broke into an Army Reserve Center in California and stole not one, not two, but 3 Humvees, machine gun vehicle mounts, machine gun tripods. I guess they tried to steal uniforms too. I don't think they were successful when it came to that. But again, I'm just going to read it again. 3 Humvees. 2 are the cloth door ones, but one was an armored Humvee, the model M1151A1. Ryan.
Yeah, they're able to pick somebody out in a J6 surveillance camera because of a freckle they have near their eye, yet somebody takes 3 Humvees from our defense system.
Well, it could have been 3 different people all driving at the same time, like at the end of Vegas Vacation when they all have the cars and they all drive off back. Now, if it was just one person that somehow managed to go back and steal a Humvee, like
how does this even happen? How does that? You know what I mean? This is your defense.
I have no idea. But what was his name from Vegas Vacation? Mr. Papa Giorgio. I put a quarter and I got a Humvee. I put a quarter and I got another Humvee. This three Humvees and one of them armored. How do you not find that leaving the scene?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, there's got to be.
There's nothing that tracks. There's nothing that the surveillance. It's insane.
What the hell is this? A brand new Grand Theft Auto game? Humvees never ever. Fact check me on this. They never get randomly stolen from Army bases.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I could be wrong. I don't think the keys would be in the ignition either. I mean,
doesn't seem like this is a problem that we should have.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Did they track them down? Are they still?
I'm guessing we'll get to that. But
okay,
let's think about this. Even if this is Grand Theft Auto. If you did this in Grand Theft Auto, it would be an automatic 5-star wanted level.
Yeah.
There'd be helicopters, SWAT. You wouldn't get away. You wouldn't get away with the Humvee without them chasing you. Instead, someone, I guess at least 3 people, stole the Humvees and no one noticed, I think for a couple days. Anyone with information regarding this case is urged to contact Detective, I guess I'll read it out loud on air, Detective Schaller at 714-573-3245. Wow. I don't know why. Wow. It's just funny reading that. Anyway, so I guess at least they, number one, they didn't get the machine guns to go with the Humvees. That's got to be a plus. Just the mounts. Unless, of course, it was the cartel that stole the Humvees and they already have their own machine guns to mount. Then that's a problem. Okay, so the silver lining for sure, they didn't get the uniforms because that could cause some problems. And can you picture in your head why that would cause some problems, Ryan?
Well, is there already, people were already dressing up as firefighters to rob them and,
That's a great point. And also keep in mind, the National Guard is going to be deployed in how many states in the coming weeks and months? With Trump coming in, they're going to be in D.C. They're already in other states with national disasters. Just saying, we don't know, but imagine the problems that would be caused by a cartel, foreign actors. It could be anything. Driving around in military uniforms. Are you familiar with the Battle of the Bulge, Ryan?
I'm semi-familiar.
World War II, December, I think, in 1944 to early 1945. Germany's last-ditch effort to win the war, or to push towards Antwerp. Anyway, they did a similar strategies where they had captured Jeeps and captured American uniforms, okay? So they would German Special Forces would use these uniforms and drive deep into the American lines and cause havoc by speaking American and telling soldiers the wrong way to go to get to the front and stuff like that. It's actually a war crime to do this. You can't do stuff like that. And they were all executed when they were caught. Do we have a caller? Dawn, come on in.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm not happy tonight with you guys. You are the most heartless white nationalist I can imagine. Do you care at all about the crick chub?
Do I care at all about what?
The crick chub. We had to burn the city down so we could save the crick chub or goldfish or smelts or
the Delta schmelts.
The Delta schmelts.
The smelts. I thought they were crick chub. I'm not. They're still part of the fish family, aren't they?
I don't know. I'm not a biologist. I'm not a biologist. With today's, they could be anything. They could be classified as anything these days.
Weeks ago I asked you if a 10-year-old kid that watched college football with his dad could draft quarterbacks better than the Cleveland Browns, and you said yes. Do you think that same imaginary, hypothetical 10-year-old kid would be a better governor than Gavin Newsom?
Yes. Did you hear the story at the cold open, the 80-year-old man that saved his house just by putting out the embers with, come on. There was no fire hydrant. They knew for weeks and months. Do you think it was on purpose, Dawn? I have to ask. Do you think it was on purpose?
You know what? I have done this with every time the Democrats mess something up. I do not know if I know they're not nice people. They're arrogant. They're elitist. I really can't figure out whether they are just completely incompetent or if they're like Dick Dastardly on the Wacky Races or some cartoon. Simon Bar Sinister. Have you ever seen Underdog?
Yes.
Right. I don't know if they're doing it on purpose or not, and I don't think you do either.
I like to pretend. A part of me wants to believe, oh, yeah, they're definitely doing it on purpose. But then I think they can't be that sick. It can't be that bad. But it might be.
I don't. This is going to keep me. Well, you've seen kittens play with yarn, right? This is going to keep me going for a while. I don't know whether it's intentional or not. What is the total damage figure? I think I heard something earlier.
I heard between 90 and 140 billion, and it could be more.
That's a lot of money, isn't it?
Not if it's going to Ukraine, apparently.
Oh, that's right. It's one Ukraine. That is now a monetary unit, correct?
Exactly. Yes, exactly. One Ukraine.
Oh, hey, you guys take care.
You too.
Thanks, Don.
Another thing too, I want Dawn and the rest of our listening audience to remember the media's reaction to this horrible, horrible wildfire because of failures from Gavin Newsom and California policies. Remember the media's reaction and how they gave him basically a pass because there's going to be something similar or worse when Trump's in office, whether it was forced upon him, a natural something, and the media will not be this kind. We forget it's been 4 years. You might have to go back and watch old videos from 4 years ago of how the media treated Trump because I don't think we're ready. We're a week away, but I don't think we're ready. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, another edition of Remember the Time. Stay tuned. You're listening to Thinking Logically here on 99.3 FM WBVP. It's Joe again from Thinking Logically, here to tell you about one of my favorite clothing items, the MyPillow hoodie. Two things I love the most about this hoodie are how it fits and how it feels. This hoodie is extremely roomy and its terry cloth material makes it lighter than any other hoodie I own. Use promo code LOGIC to maximize your savings. The MyPillow hoodie. Get yours today. It's Joe Corsi here from Thinking Logically to tell you about Beaver County's #1 realtor, Mark Galla with RE/MAX Select Realty. With over 10 years experience, Mark knows all the ins and outs of the real estate business, so whether you're looking to rent, buy, sell, or swap your house, you can rely on Mark to take the hassle out. Mark Galla of RE/MAX Select Realty, going above and beyond. Hey everyone, it's Joe from Thinking Logically here to tell you about one of my favorite places to eat, Bowser's Restaurant in Monaca. I'm a big fan of their 2-meat plate. Sometimes I get it with the pulled pork, and sometimes I get it with ribs, but I always get it with their amazing brisket. Don't forget to try all their smokehouse sides as well. Takeout and catering available too. Again, that's Bowser's Restaurant at 1493 Old Broadhead Road in Monaca.
Looking for home services? Call Patriot Home Care in Beaver Falls. Their staff provides company, conversation, and companionship to all patients, ensuring medications are taken on time, participating in fun community activities, personal care, meal prep, and light household work are all services provided by Patriot Home Care, all thanks to the hardworking and selfless team members. Call Patriot Home Care at 724-506-8911 or stop in Patriot Home Care, 1225 7th Avenue, Beaver Falls.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Thinking Logically here on 99.3 FM WBVP. It's that time. It's a new segment. Remember the Time. Remember the Time. The second edition of Remember the Time. Ryan, what do you think it could be today? You look at me with them crazy eyes. It could be anything. Can you guess the event off before I even say anything? No, probably not.
No, I cannot.
Okay, let me know when you know what I'm talking about. Do you remember the time in 2016 when someone claimed the New York City Police Department had discovered a pedophilia ring linked to members of the Democratic Party while searching through Anthony Weiner's emails? Remember, they had Anthony Weiner's laptop before Hunter Biden's. Then later that year, Julian Assange and WikiLeaks released thousands of emails from people like Hillary Clinton, John Podesta. Ryan, do you remember this? WikiLeaks?
Vaguely, yeah.
Vaguely rings a bell. And throughout John Podesta's emails, there were code words that, according to the FBI, are used for pedophilia and human trafficking. There were also a lot of references in emails to a place in Washington, D.C. called Comet Pizza. Getting closer yet to what this is?
Pizza, yes, absolutely.
Now, let's fast forward a few months to December 4th of 2016. That's when Edgar Madison Welch, a 28-year-old man from Salisbury, North Carolina, arrived at Comet Ping Pong and fired 3 shots from an AR-15. The bullet struck the restaurant's walls, a desk, and a door. Behind that door was Comet Pizza's computer system, which was somehow destroyed by that bullet. Again, the guy miraculously hit the hard drive in their computer. I'm not saying Comet Pizza was a hub for pedophilia or human trafficking, but if it was, I'm sure that computer would have been vital in any investigation. Now, Edgar Madison Welch, he went into that place to find evidence of evil, I guess we could say. But somehow he managed to destroy the exact thing that may have held evidence with one lucky, or unlucky, I guess, shot. Also, never forget that the ABC award-winning journalist who debunked Pizzagate, which is now what we're talking about, he pled guilty to, Ryan, do you know what he pled guilty to? Being a literal pedophile. Look it up. Don't believe me, look it up. And the judge that sentenced Edgar Madison Welch to 4 years in prison for firing his AR-15 3 times was Ketanji Brown Jackson, actually. That's who Biden nominated for the Supreme Court justice. Remember, she's the one that can't figure out, she's not a biologist, she doesn't know what a man or a woman is. So is there something more here? Maybe, but who cares? He's dead now. Yeah, that's right. Edgar Madison Welch, shot by police last weekend. The North Carolina police fatally shot the Pizzagate gunman in a traffic stop on Saturday. He died in the hospital 2 days later. Again, this is the same guy who conveniently shut a locked closet door, and the bullet miraculously hit Comet Ping Pong's computer hard drive, ruining it. I'm sorry, wrap it up. Comet Ping Pong, that place was named in the Podesta emails numerous times, and the owner was named as one of the most influential people in D.C. I can't figure out why, Ryan. He was just a pizza parlor owner. So why would you be one of the most influential people in D.C.? Oh, and Jeffrey Epstein, you know, whatever happened there with Ghislaine Maxwell. Why is Ghislaine Maxwell in prison, Ryan? Do we know?
You know what? I forgot all about her, to be honest.
I believe she trafficked children. Who did she traffic children to? Oh, nobody, apparently. Apparently nobody. So that was the Remember the Time Pizzagate. The guy was shot and killed by police on Saturday. Again, another loose end being tied up. Maybe. Maybe. Right. I don't know. Weird. All these coincidences. We'll leave it at that, I guess. Let's move on to, speaking of prison, Michael Cohen. He spent a little bit of time in prison for, I think it was lying under oath. He had that whole Stormy Daniels thing. Well, now he's on TV, going from station to station, begging for a pardon, apparently. Ryan, play the audio of him. I think it was on MSNBC. It's actually, I feel bad for him. It's sad. Just listen. Just play it.
Regarding the pardon, yeah, I put in the application for a presidential pardon because I believe that Joe Biden has the same responsibility to me that he had to his own son. And I would expect that the same exact pardon that he gave his son has to go to me and to anybody else that's on that enemies list, whether they want it or not. Because I assure you, solitary confinement where I did 51 days sucks.
I guess my question is, have you heard from the Biden administration? And I am struck by your comparing yourself and Hunter Biden, And I wonder if, well, I'm going to just tell you, Michael Kors, we're on national TV, we have a conversation. I don't necessarily think that's your best way to go get a pardon. I mean, Hunter Biden is the president's last surviving son. But your other point, why I do think
I'm
is a strong one.
somebody's son also, by the way.
Agreed, you are somebody's son. But, I mean, to be very clear, you're not the president's son.
I'm somebody's son too. I want a pardon. And she talked to him like a child. Oh, you are somebody's son, but you're not the president's son. Here, did you listen to that? 51 days in solitary confinement. This dude's acting like he's Phil Leotardo and spent 20 years in the can. A lot of Sopranos references today. I don't know.
There is. I've noticed that.
I don't know why. I was on TikTok a lot over the weekend, and I was on the Sopranos side of TikTok, and I pretty much watched about 3 seasons on TikTok. I'm sorry, I don't feel bad for Michael Cohen. I don't feel bad. Let's just move on. Did you see a Delta plane had to abort takeoff in Atlanta, and it left, I believe, a bunch of 200 passengers had to evacuate. Yeah, 200 passengers evacuated a Delta flight at the Atlanta airport after aborted takeoff. Emergency slides were used, and 4 reported minor injuries and 1 hospitalization. The flight was headed to Minneapolis. Okay, is it me, Ryan, or does this whole airline industry thing, is it falling apart?
It don't seem good. It doesn't seem good, does it?
Statistically, anytime you hear of a plane crash, it's usually a smaller plane. Commercial planes usually have very few issues. They're always being looked at. Anytime you've ever flown, you see someone always on the wing looking at something. But I'm seeing a lot of these issues lately. I don't want to blame it on DEI, but if you don't blame it on DEI, I guess we got to blame it on Boeing or one of these companies. I don't know, but this should not happen in a first world country. Anything, Ryan, on it? Do you fly a lot?
I do not, no.
I hate flying. I hate flying to begin with. I get very nervous. I have to take Xanax just when I take a small flight.
I always think that I'm going to be okay until the moment when I get on the plane. Then it's a whole different thing. But
did you ever fly on a plane with propellers and not a jet?
I don't know.
I did one time. I flew on the plane from basically Major League, from New York one time.
Really?
White knuckle the entire time. And I was hungover.
Imagine.
I was hungover. Not a fun time. All right, let's move on. Romanian election. Apparently, the election in Romania was canceled due to unverified allegations of Russian influence. Who is this that won the first round? Kalin, I can't even pronounce his name. He won the first round of voting with 23% of the vote. So that happened. Also around the world, South Korean president, he's currently facing jail time. So remember that December 3rd coup or whatever, the martial law? We covered that.
Yeah.
So I guess he might be facing jail time for deploying the troops in the National Election Commission. I don't know, but the entire world seems like it's falling apart. Remember our prediction that 2 democracies would fall? What was it? It was 2.5.
Was it 2.5?
It was 2.5. So Romania could be 1, and South Korea. Can you imagine? That'd be like the over/under is 50.5, and you get like 5 touchdowns in the first quarter or something.
You're right.
Looking good so far on that bet. But yeah, that's news from across the world. Right, can we do the Kash Patel thing real quick, and then we're going to take a break?
Absolutely.
So Kash Patel, he was on Fox News, and he announced that he is going to be working with Congress regarding Judge Juan Merchan. That's the one who just sentenced Trump to, what did he sentence him to? I forget. I don't know what it was. I can't remember the actual term. But now Kash is saying he wants Congress to get on board and wants bank records so we could follow Judge Juan Merchan and his daughter's money trail. Play that audio from Kash from Fox.
Here to announce on your show a measure that I'm working with Congress that should be Congress's bread and butter. And I'm calling for the subpoenas to be issued to Judge Merchan's daughter's company, who made $15+ million from the illicit information pouring out of her father's courtroom. I want to know the bank records because money doesn't lie. I want to know how deep it is and how much of it went to the family and how much of it is going to the family after this false conviction. And then we need to investigate the FEC actual violations that this judge and his family conducted, because he should never have been overseeing this trial to begin with because of the illicit campaign money that was flowing through there, and the unconstitutional due process violations are only the beginning. So America is calling for accountability of our judicial system, and Congress is the only lever that has it, and I'm hoping for 1 or 2 brave members of Congress that I'm talking to issue those subpoenas.
Remember, we reported on this all of April and May with this Juan Merchan and his daughter collecting that money. This everything we've been saying, and we finally might get accountability, and it might happen soon, the first 6 months. All right, we're going to take a break. When we return, though, we're going to talk about RFK, John Fetterman, and a couple other things. Stay tuned. You listen to Thinking Logic here on 99.3 FM WBVP.
You know, when Joe Biden shuffles in front of the cameras to answer scripted questions during the day, he lies like Don King. But what you don't know is, when he goes to sleep at night, he lies like an Egyptian king because he uses MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Grown only in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River, its long staple cotton makes it ultra soft and breathable. Use the promo code LOGIC to maximize your savings on this amazing product.
Sometimes the holidays can last a little too long, but usually it's no big deal if you discover a leftover fruitcake in your refrigerator, even if it's after Memorial Day. You just toss it out and move on with life. This is Pat Travail from Freedom United Federal Credit Union. On the other hand, high interest charges from store credit cards can really start to stink too. The fact is, if you don't deal with it now, you might still have some of this year's Christmas rotting away in your budget, like a cookie tray that's been left uncovered far into the next year. With approved credit, you can transfer your existing balances to our low fixed-rate Visa card now and put freedom in your future. Don't let the holidays linger. Throw the high-rate credit cards out with the eggnog that's gone bad. Visit Freedom United Federal Credit Union, member NCUA, equal housing lender.
Your success is our success. We belong to you.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Welcome back to Thinking Logic here on 99.3 FM WBVP. Got a couple more stories here on this Monday, which is marks one left of Joe Biden. Joe Biden's last week of school. I really wish we could make him do another 4 years, Ryan. What do you think? How fun would that be? Just to force him to do another 4 years. Force him to do it. What
It's
if he
almost
would've
like
won?
the bad kid. You know, you always wonder, well, why did that kid get held back? The answer always was the teacher just wanted to get rid of him.
I just want to say no vacation for you, buddy. Back to work. All right. 17,000 doctors have signed a letter claiming that RFK Jr. is unfit to serve as health secretary. The man has a six-pack abs. He's fit to do anything. The letter reads, doctors across the country are uniting to oppose RFK Jr.'s nomination as Secretary of Health and Human Services. His decades of spreading dangerous disinformation, undermining public health efforts, and promoting conspiracy theories make him wholly unfit to lead the nation's most critical health agency. Together, we can ensure decision makers hear loud and clear that the medical community stands against this nomination. By taking action today, you can make a tangible of course, they want you to give money and help safeguard the progress that we've made in advancing public health, evidence-based medicine, and patient care. Right, let's just talk about vaccines for a second. The COVID-19 vaccine, was that a vaccine?
Was it a vaccine?
Yeah. I'm being serious.
That's what we were told.
Well, it wasn't a vaccine. It was more of a therapeutic. A vaccine stops you from getting an infection. A therapeutic eases the symptoms of an illness, does it not? Therapeutic, right? Vaccine? Polio vaccine. Did you ever get polio?
Right.
Okay. If you got a little bit of polio and just had minor symptoms, would you still call it a vaccine? Oh, I didn't have polio that bad. The vaccine worked. Oh, I didn't have polio that bad. The therapeutic helped a little bit. What sounds better?
Right.
Again, but RFK is the crazy one. All right. Let's look at the confirmation hearing schedule. This is rather interesting. So this starts tomorrow, 9 a.m. Doug Collins for Veterans Affairs. Boom, get him in there. Then 9:30 a.m. Armed Services. Pete Hegseth for Defense. That's the Armed Services Committee is doing that. Doug Burgum, Secretary of the Interior. That is Tuesday, 10 a.m. Kristi Noem, we're going into Wednesday now. That's 9 a.m. Pam Bondi for AG. Judiciary Committee is going to look at her at 9:30 on Wednesday. Also Wednesday, Marco Rubio for Secretary of State. John Ratcliffe for CIA, 10 a.m. Wednesday. 10 a.m. Wednesday is also Sean Duffy, not Sean Duffy Combs, just Sean Duffy for transportation. Chris Wright for Energies, also at 10 a.m. on Wednesday. Lee Zeldin, Thursday, 10 a.m. Scott Bessett for Treasury. I'm on the fence about him, but we'll take it. Thursday, 10:30 a.m. Let's get them lined up and let's get them confirmed. We're not going to wait months like last time Trump was in office. All right, what else here? A couple other stories. Yeah, we got about 5 minutes left. Trump's incoming National Security Advisor, Mike Waltz, speaking to him, says all intelligence officials assigned to the National Security Council under Joe Biden must leave by 12:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Inauguration Day. Get your hat, your coat, and leave. Right, Ryan? Right? Ah. All right. And in honor of that, 2 more stories. Trump has announced his multi-day inauguration celebration. Ryan, get ready because Saturday it's going to be fireworks in the president's reception at Trump Sterling. Then Sunday, Arlington National Cemetery ceremony. There's a Make America Great Again victory rally. And then I think at that rally, is that on the day before? No, yeah, Sunday, the day before. The Village People, they're going to be performing live at the Turning Point Inauguration Eve Ball. What do we have here on Inauguration Day? St. John's Church service, tea at the White House, the swearing-in ceremony, which I'll be watching, a farewell to the former president and vice president. Oh, that's my favorite part. There's going to be a signing room ceremony, a presidential review of the troops, a presidential parade. I don't love that idea. I like to take 0 chances, but whatever. And then there's a few other things. And the next day is a national prayer service. I'll tell you what, Ryan. What's puzzling here? Nowhere on this itinerary is an annexation of Panama Canal, Greenland, Canada. I don't see it anywhere on here.
It's surprising. Can you believe it?
Also, Donald Trump, President Trump, you better rest that hand the week before. There's going to be a lot of things to sign, not only that day, but over the coming weeks. Like, remember Jerry Seinfeld when he has to sign all the checks for the Japanese, Ryan? Remember that? Carrie Underwood, she's also performing at Donald Trump's inauguration. I got to ask, with everything going on, yes or no, should we change the location of the inauguration and make it a small event indoors, no riffraff? Am I crazy?
I mean, I can understand both sides. I certainly understand what you're saying and keeping things safe and not taking any chances. But on the other hand, I could go either way on that.
Okay. JD Vance, he goes, so is it okay? What did he tweet out here? Hopefully everyone was cool with me skipping the inauguration so I could go to the national title game. He's a Ohio State fan.
Oh, geez. Okay.
It's funny to have a vice president like that actually has a sense of humor. And then Biden also said today that he is leaving the Trump administration a country far stronger position than it was when Biden inherited it, with a strong hand to play when dealing with geopolitical crises. Really? Biden lost Afghanistan, started 2 new wars. We had China flying spy balloons over the country. Now we got mystery drones, U.S. soldiers committing acts of terrorism, a border that's wide open. Should I go on, Ryan? How much time do we have left? We only got about 3 minutes left. All right. Last story. Fetterman met with Trump at Mar-a-Lago. Trump's quoted as saying, "It was totally fascinating. He's a fascinating man, and his wife is lovely. I couldn't be more impressed. He's a common sense person. He's not a liberal or conservative, which is beautiful." Do you think anyone on the left will try to kill John Fetterman now? They're going to hate him now all of a sudden.
They just might.
Remember, guys, maybe John Fetterman will come on this side. Us Trump supporters, we're not that different than John Fetterman. We're just also, like Fetterman, a bunch of knuckle walkers that walk around on our knuckles to get plays. We're no smarter than gorillas, just like John Fetterman. Remember that. All right, I think that's it, Ryan. How much time do we have left? We got about 2 minutes almost. Picks for tonight, Vikings and Rams.
You know, I like the Vikings. They've won a lot of football games this year. They certainly, they're building a nice team up there. But a lot of people were talking in this other ear saying, watch out for this Rams team. Watch out for this Rams team. Now, this was an easy pick for me a couple days ago until I started hearing the chatter. I'm going to stick with my guns, and I'm going to go with the Vikings on this one.
Is it an away game for the Rams, too? Because what's LA?
It is. They moved it over to Arizona.
Arizona?
Yeah.
Huh. Amazing. Well, if I have to take a pick, I hate to pick the Vikings, too. I'm going to take the Vikings. I think it's a great story. I love how Sam Darnold... It's still crazy that him and Baker Mayfield were on the same Carolina Panthers team.
Yeah, right. It really is.
The playoffs. But I'm going to take the Vikings. I noticed this. Someone put this out on social media today. Remember, it was a little less than a year ago. The gang-related mass shooting at the Super Bowl parade in Kansas City last year.
Yes, of course.
That just flew under the radar. No one cared about that anymore.
Yeah.
And now I don't know. I don't know. Okay.
Where's the national championship played out on Monday?
New Orleans.
Oh, that's right. What am I thinking?
Where they canceled the game, and that guy, the former military guy, had supposedly hit bombs all over the city, and they had to cancel the game to look for the bombs, and we just never heard anything after that, huh?
Yeah, right.
Not
Weird.
strange at all. All right, we'll be back Thursday, the last episode of the Biden administration. I can't believe we made it this far. I hope we have a lot of call-ins Thursday. talk what you expect for the next 4 years, what your favorite memories of the last 4 years will be. I don't know. There's just so much. But that's it for today's episode. We'll be back Thursday, 5 to 6 p.m. as always. You've been listening to Thinking Logically. I'm Joe Corsi signing off. See you Thursday. One more week of Joe Biden.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls.